Yes, well, obviously there was some, I guess inspiration or whatever from particularly with the notion of privatizing the military and the idea that there are some public institutions that shouldn't be privatized. More specifically, the notion of transparency and accountability. If you're going to have private contractors, they need to be accountable to the government or accountable to a government or accountable to somebody, and that seems to be obvious. And I think the idea of the sort of cynicism expressed in this movie about government is certainly something that is a kind of a holdover from the last administration rather than a reflection of folks' feelings toward the current administration now. Well, the friendship that Russell's character and I have, we're friends for we've been friends for a long time, and one of us became a politician and the other became a journalist, both of us trying to change the world to a certain extent. And we stayed friends, and we were also both friends with the same woman, and I married her. And then at a certain point, she had a brief affair with Russell, and that ruptured the friendship naturally. And then when I have discovered to have had an affair as well, then I kind of go back to Russell's character and kind of rely on him because my career is in trouble and he is a journalist and he can kind of save me, and it begins this sort of interesting, I think, character story. I think that's an interesting hypothesis. It's entirely possible. I think there is definitely there's definitely a distraction from reality that gets created by sort of endlessly getting obsessed with gossip and rumor and scandal and sort of maintaining a kind of strictly prurient interest in politics and current events rather than focusing on the real news and the issues. Well, there's a lot to like about it, but in terms of strictly looking at the movies themselves, the thing that I'm most drawn to now, is finding ways that you can mirror and parallel real life that are interesting and kind of resonant and yet really unexpected. I hope so. I hope that through films, people will watch them and rather than taking away a message or any specific idea, that a movie that works well, the audience watches it and then is moved in some way, and maybe asks questions about themselves or about the world after seeing it. Sure, I think being in the public eye can be traumatic. Certainly you see it with politicians, and it can be kind of wearing. It can sometimes engender a certain kind of egoism, and it can also be traumatizing. I think it's something on its own that you have to learn to deal with.